Okay, so this is going to be a quick tutorial for the pattern exercise. We're going to be opening the file that's attached to the exercise. So you're going to go to Open File, and you're going to select that Steven Tan, which is under my downloads. Okay, and then you're also going to open up an image that you download from the internet that you want to become your repeating pattern. Okay, so this can be anything. Because this has a white background, the white background will be included in my repeating pattern. If I wanted to get rid of that white background, I would select it. I want to actually select the inverse because I want the horse to remain and I want the background to disappear. And then I'm going to hit my mask on my layers panel, which is that rectangle with a circle in it. And now in order to create a pattern out of this, I can't have this mask on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to delete my mask. But then when it asks me, do you want to apply the mask to the layer before removing, I'm going to say apply. And what that's going to do is it means that it's going to permanently delete this background. So again, you don't have to get rid of the background, but if you don't want your pattern to have a background, you want it to be a cutout like this, then you want to get rid of that background. Okay, the next thing I do is I have to select everything. So I can either hit Command A or go to where it says Select and choose Select All. Once everything's selected, I'm going to go and make my pattern, which means I'm going to go to where it says Edit, and then I'm going to go down to where it says Define Pattern. Alright, I click on this and this dialog box will pop up. It'll show me a little preview of what my pattern is going to look like. I can name it. I'm going to name it Unicorn. And then I'm going to hit OK. Now my pattern is made. It's a part of this Photoshop on this computer, and so I can always access it. Now I'm going to go back to the image, which is up in my tabs here, of the room with the pink wall. And I want to put my pattern on that pink wall, almost like we're going to fabricate wallpaper or something like that. So in order to make that happen, I want to select just the pink. To do that, we're going to use Select and Color Range. This allows us to choose any color and select everything in the document that's that color. So I'm going to choose that. Basically, I can select and click anywhere on my image, and you'll notice that that area that with that color shows up in our little thumbnail here. And if I hold Shift and click in other areas, that's going to allow me to select more of the pink. Okay, so there's different values of pink here, and I want to select all of them. There's also these little creases here. I can select it on either the document or on the thumbnail here. There's also this fuzziness scale, so I can scale that up and down. You can see some of the image down here is selected when I do that. So I want to make sure that all these plants and the shelves there are kind of all black because I don't want that going over my design going over top of that area. I'm also going to select the shadow here, and then when I'm happy with it, I'm going to hit OK. And what you're going to see is all of these kind of all this is selected with their dancing ants. We're going to make sure we're on our background layer, and then we're going to go down to the adjustments on the bottom of the layers panel, the circle that's half white and half black. You're going to click on that, and you're going to choose Pattern. What this does is it creates an entire layer with your pattern on it. And because we have this selected, we're also creating a mask so that the pattern only appears on this part of the wall. So I'm going to choose Pattern. You can see the mask that was created from our selection, and then I'm going to go to here, and hopefully, because the last pattern that we created should just show up here. If it doesn't, it would be at the end of the list here, and if it's not at the end of the list, that means that something went wrong when you actually created the pattern. So there's my pattern. I can scale it to whatever size. I think mine looks best when it's about 30 something. So we'll put it at 35. And then we're going to hit OK. So what happened here is basically all the area that we had selected now has that pattern on it. The next thing I want to do is I want to change the blending mode on that layer so that these unicorns actually look like they're on top of the wall. So probably change it to multiply, but you might find that one of the other options is better for what the look that you're going for. So My unicorns also look good when they're in hard light. And then this is the time when you want to clean up your mask if you need to. So let's say, I'm going to turn this back on to multiply. Let's say I over selected. So here you can see on this cup here and on the purse, there's some of my unicorn showing up that I don't want that to see that. So I can go on to my mask layer. I'm going to choose my paintbrush and I'm going to paint with black. And that's going to get rid of any of the parts of the pattern that I don't want to see in those areas. And I can also check here on my floor, there's some area right here. And then if there's any areas that I might have under-selected, like on this wall here, I can paint those with white. So I can press X on my keyboard, and you can see there that there were parts of the image that were kind of missing on that corner. So you can add those to that. Okay, and then once you're done, you're just going to save it as a Photoshop file and then also save it as a PDF, and you're going to upload that PDF to Canvas. And that's pretty much it. That's all you need to do for the pattern exercise.